I want you to listen to what Tulsi Gabbard said this weekend. It's actually exactly, to me, where we're at as a nation. Where we're to a point where either we're going to back away from the cliff and actually get our crap together, or we're just going to have the end game and fall off the cliff. We're at that point. I want you to listen to what she says. I have a great quote, and I think it speaks volumes. Not only that, we're going to talk about what Mike Benz has been talking about, and this is something I've been telling you for a long time. I believe that the point of Bitcoin and stable coins is to get you believing that digitized currency is a good thing and the dollar is failing on purpose. Do I believe that this is set up to make you believe that this is the parallel society and the whole time you're buying into digital currencies? That's exactly what I believe, and I believe that Bitcoin was set up by the government. We're going to dive deep into what I believe and how I honestly say, if you really want parallel society, you really want freedom, cash is got to be the main driver of that. You take cash away, you take freedom away. Also, we're going to discuss what Barack Obama just said. I mean, it really speaks volumes of exactly where I like, for instance, what I'm dealing with, the censorship that I'm dealing with. And I'll tell you exactly what's happening to me personally, something that we've been discussing over the last few months, really. And then lastly, I want you to listen to what this guy asked AI. AI told you exactly what the plan is for America and for the world. Are we being pre-programmed? The CIA, what Barack Obama says, what Tulsi Gabbard says. We're going to wrap it up with exactly what AI just admitted. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here today. We are humbled by your support of, hopefully liking our channel. And if you do, please give us a thumbs up. It means the world to us. Subscribe if you're not. And double check your bell notification on. That's what I think we are getting held down. And I think it's because we're speaking truth. Now let's dive into the stories. First, let's talk about what Tulsi Gabbard says. And I think we're going to say this because I think it's really entangling the rest of this video and telling you exactly what is taking place. I want you to listen to what she said. Tulsi Gabbard says that the war is with the deep state. This is what we're seeing, and it's going on faster and faster. I can attest personally that as the director of national intelligence, the deep state is fighting us every step of the way. You think the campaign was hard? You think what President Trump went through was hard? And it was. But the road ahead will not be easy. And it exists within every single federal agency. Remember, there's 2,000 federal agencies. Remember that now. And so, I feel the same frustration that you see and feel every day. Why are things not going faster? Why are things not getting results quicker? I feel the frustration every day. We are pushing hard, knowing that we're pushing. Please, trust us. But this is the hardest fight we'll ever fight. Now think about that for a second. A lot of times we want government to get better. We want things to get better. But I think what she's saying is, look, there is a roadblock around every situation. There's a roadblock and establishment deep state point around every situation. We have to be very cautious of that. Now, do I believe that Trump and his administration has done everything right? No. But I do believe that if we hold on, let's see actually how it plays out. The Iran-Iraq situation, the Iran-Israel situation seemed to be okay. We did what we said, got out. We did pass the tax cuts that are great, but there's still some holes in the beautiful bill. I think the problem always goes back to Congress and what they've established, which is this big monster and monstrosity of government. Remember, a lot of these agencies and the money that we're funding them, a lot of the problems tends to be what Congress created. That's what we keep forgetting. This is not just normal establishment. This is what Congress created. So it's going to take a while to dismantle it. And the sad thing is he can't dismantle it without Congress's help in a lot of these facets. So if we really want change, it's going to start back at our senators and representatives. I think Tulsi Gabbard actually truly spoke truth, is that as much as we want to move it forward, it's literally like walking with glue stuck to your feet, and we're trying to elasticize ourselves away from the problem. And she said it's hard. We didn't realize how hard it was. I think that's what's happening with Bongino. I think that's why you won't see him stay long, because he doesn't have to. I think that's why you see, to me, Patel not being as strong as we thought he was going to be. I think that's why you see a lot of these people, they had good intentions, but ultimately I think they realize how deep the swamp truly is once they get in there. And I know we don't understand that, but I do believe this. If Trump wants to do great and we really want to change America, the only way to actually change America is open transparency. And I think that the more that we speak openly about the things like the files that they haven't dropped, things like the truth behind some of the situations with some of these conflicts, I think if we're open and transparent and we're willing to just throw it all out there, I think that's going to speak to actually having more truth and trust in our government. Because right now our cities are falling to pieces, and the fact that conservatives are still not really believing everything that maybe Trump and his administration is doing, because they don't see all the answers, including me. So I do believe that we should be open and transparent. I think Trump's best plan is to be open and transparent, speak directly to the American people. Don't talk politics, speak directly to us. And if he is not successful, then he needs to say, this is why we're not successful, because these congressmen are doing these things and we need to get them out. And that way I think that helps us move forward as a nation to be better. And speaking again how big government is, I want you to listen to what Barack Obama just said. And I think this, again, it tells you kind of where I'm at. Barack Obama says, the imposition of regulatory constraints on social media companies in a way is separate facts than opinions. We need to understand that there should be a cause for what someone's speaking. But if something is not true, or we deem it's not true, and we deem it's hateful, and we deem that it's polarizing voices, and it's inciting, then we should be able to silence it. Now, you hear these kind of talks from the left especially. This is the party that's supposed to speak on freedom. However, they're not wanting to silence their side. They're wanting to silence you. It's amazing how me personally, I say truth, and I bring up things that are very, very pertinent to most conservative people. I mean, the things I talk about, and you can agree in the comments, please tell me. I'd say 90% of what I say, you mostly agree with. The sad thing is that my channel may be silenced because I'm willing to speak the truth. Now, we have a way that we test. We do what we call A/B testing for our YouTube channel. And when when we're using a search engine, or when we're using a YouTube, we have a blank YouTube algorithm, meaning we watch nothing but our content, so that way we see what's trending with us, so we can help understand where people are at, what you're wanting to watch, what you're wanting to hear from. Sadly, and this is the last, I say, few months, really more during the Trump administration, not because of Trump, but because I believe that someone's wanting to change your narrative and try to make you turn against conservatism and freedom, but I digress. Lately, on that A/B testing, where it literally is just watching my content and content creators like me, conservative, libertarian, freedom, Christian-oriented think tanks, so that way we see what everybody's wanting to listen to. Listen to this. Lately, all I've been getting is Brian Tyler Cohen, which is a Democratic liberal, Democracy Docket, which is like a lawyer for Democrats, also Kirshner, which is another Democratic lawyer, and a lot of other liberal pundits. That's all that's been coming up on my feed. Now, is that because I'm watching that content? No, not at all. It's because it's being recommended to me. Why is it being recommended to me as someone who has got an algorithm that is based on conservative, Christian, libertarian, freedom-oriented truth? The reason it's been shown to me is because they want to recommend that garbage to me versus what truth is. So, again, that's what I always tell you, just like what Barack Obama just said, you've got to push through. Find the people that are helping push freedom. Because what, like Barack Obama says, and Hillary Clinton has said this last few days, is that we need more censorship. We need more regulation on social media. We need more coverage, so that way the truth is being told. No, actually what they want is, they want their narrative to have free reign and our narrative to be silenced. Be careful of this. Right now we have quote-unquote conservatives in power, and still silencing is going on. What happens when they're not in power anymore? Russell Brand brought this up on social media. He said, I'm disgusted. He said most people in the United States will never see what we're seeing in the UK now. He said there's people getting arrested for free speech online and literally in the streets every day. He said, you know what the sad thing is? Those same people that are pushing maybe the Islamist views, the same people pushing things that are more to liberals, he said, not getting arrested, not getting pushed, no matter what they say. They can defame whomever, they can do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and no harm to them. He said, you let conservative Christians speak, you let freedom-minded people speak, he said they will be censored, and they will be thrown into jail and tried. He said, we're seeing it. And he said, if you don't stop what's happening in the United States, he said, you're going to be the next UK, which means you will have no voice. Pay attention to that. Now, before we go any further, a word from today's sponsor. One thing that I've learned, you remember, yesterday was my dad's birthday. He turned 65. We talked about it on yesterday's vlog. But remember this, when you turn 65, things change, don't they? Not only do your body change and you're getting to a different time of life, part of that time of life is dealing with Social Security and Medicare. Well, Medicare has really been a tough thing for my parents and for most people turning 65 or older. Even as you are younger, thinking about this, it's just a stress. Everyone wants to sell you this, give you this, tell you this. This is the way to do it. They have biases. Well, that's why today's sponsor is so important, Chapter. Chapter is an advisor for you. They're advising you, and guess what? They look at all plans to find out what benefits you, your situation, your doctors, your hospitals, your medicines. They don't want to oversell you, don't want to undersell you. Here's the best part. It's free. They're not trying to sway you one way or the other. They're wanting to save you money. It's free. Listen to this. The average American saves $1,100 when using Chapter. There was a lady just last week that said, I wanted to support you, Colby, so I clicked on the app thinking it was just going to be a joke. I clicked in, read about it, called them, ended up saving $1,290. Thank you for recommending them. Listen, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Chapter is literally trying to help you. All I want you to do is call them. Please, 15, 20 minutes of your time. You'll be on the phone. If you're on the best plan, they'll tell you. But if you're not, you can save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So please make sure that you are checking with Chapter. Check with Chapter today. Look at the phone number below. Call them. And if you are on Medicare or fixing to start and you're worried about it, look no further than Chapter. Check with them today. Now, this is the big thing I want to talk about. Right now, Bitcoin is soaring. I mean, to the moon, they're saying. I mean, everybody's excited. Everybody's buying crypto. Everybody's buying Bitcoin. I want you to listen to what I think is spot on. I've told you this for a long time. I believe that Bitcoin and crypto is actually programming us to accept stable coins, which, remember, BlackRock, every big bank now are all using stable coins. You know who else uses stable coins? Our government, CIA. Digitized money has been around for a long time. That's how they pass money to and fro to countries, to the banking, international situations, IMF, BIS, all those. If they can make you buy into it because you believe that you're free and you believe this is the best way and you believe this is the new cash, I believe what they're doing is trying to teach you to, oh, go to these things and you're going to make tons of money. Put all your money on this exchange because remember, your dollars are worthless. Jump into Bitcoin, jump into crypto, jump into this stable coin. It's going to benefit you. I think what they're doing is actually programming you to say this is how you're going to make money, and ultimately what you don't realize is this is about control. Now, why is it about control? Colby, you tell me this all the time, but Bitcoin is all about freedom. Is it really? Do you really have freedom if you can't touch your money? Do you really have freedom if it depends on the grid? Do you really have freedom if everybody like Bitcoin, JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and the government is telling you to get into Bitcoin and to get into crypto? Do you realize that? What's so funny, 10 years ago we would have said anything that BlackRock or State Street or Goldman Sachs or Chase or Bank of America told us to do, we would do the exact opposite because they were dangerous. They were part of the WEF. And now we're buying it hook, line, and sinker. I love what Mike Ben said about crypto, and I believe that he's about the only one that's on mainstream conservatism kind of talking about this. We've been over this. This is a quote from him. A Bitcoin price is driven by stablecoins, not the other way around. The CIA uses stablecoins for the money laundering, while Treasury uses stablecoins to pump and prop up the US dollar. Don't be mad, you're going to make money, but just not for the reasons that you think. And this is what I believe too. I believe that you can make great money in things like crypto and Bitcoin if you can play it right. But I think they're trying to get you to buy into a system to show that your dollar is weak and that this is the best option. Gold is too heavy, don't buy gold, even though that's what the Fed and that's what the big businesses and the big countries are buying. Gold. They're not buying Bitcoin. They're buying gold because they know that's real worth, that's real money. The second biggest currency in the world is gold, not Bitcoin. But I digress. He keeps on going and says, do you realize how dangerous this is? Do you realize what they're getting you to do? I love what Zero Hedge says. It says, global bonds are dumping. Bitcoin is soaring. Kind of like the end game here. To me, what we're doing is while the dollar's dumping, bonds are going down, while the stock market's kind of playing around, gold is staying strong and at an all-time high. But everybody's moving to crypto because they believe this is the new thing. What is the new thing? But it's not about get rich quick. It's about get control of you quick. Remember, if they control all your dollars, if they control your currency, they've got you. Here's two ways it's going to happen. You're changing your dollars because they're telling you you're going to get rich. So you change your dollars, all of a sudden, this is skyrocketing 20, 30%. So you've made money. So you said, I want to give more of my dollars to this Bitcoin platform so I can make money. So all you've done is just, for an opportunistic way, you've gotten rid of your freedom of dollars to buy into a system that is completely based on energy, falsity, not real tangible money, and all speculative. Okay? The other option is you put all your money on the exchange to try to get rich, and all of a sudden people like the MicroStrategies or CIA or BlackRock, someone like that has a big hold in there, sells everything, shorts it, and all of a sudden it dumps. So all your well-earned money is now lost by half. So then you're at the beg and plea of the government. Please assist us. And there's no backing of it. It's a lose-lose in the long game. Could you make money on Bitcoin or crypto? Absolutely. I've actually made money on crypto, but I played it as a speculative thing, almost like a game, because I believe that freedom, true freedom, is in cash. Have you ever thought that no one knows how Bitcoin was created? No one actually knows how to actually truly decipher what it is. It's a bunch of ones and zeros. Do we not believe that's exactly how dangerous the world is because we're building everything on a digitized platform? Let me just say this. I honestly believe Satoshi Nakamoto, the quote-unquote founder of Bitcoin, the maker, the wonderful person that people like MicroStrategies say and all these other people say and all these people who believe in this system say, truly, what if it was just the government? What if the government was the one that did it? They hyped it up, and now your propaganda thinks that we've got to buy into it, and look, it's at all-time high. Remember, you know why it's growing at all-time high? Because everybody's now putting their money in it. It doesn't grow because it's value. It's not a product. It's not gold. It's not money. So basically, you're buying into a speculative something. No one even knows truthfully what it is. You can't actually use it other than a few places, and everybody's buying into it, so therefore that's why the value's going up. Do you not realize that? There's no intrinsic value to it. If it went down to 60,000 from 120, if it cut in half today, people would lose their tail in it, lose millions of dollars, billions of dollars. And really you wouldn't have gained or lost anything actually in tangible worth or anything other than speculation. It's not gas, it's not oil, it's not money, it's not true energy, it's nothing. It literally is nothing. And people are buying into it. I love that Mike Benz is bringing it up saying, can you just think that it probably is the CIA, right? You probably realize it is actually the deep state, like we were talking about with Tulsi. The things that are actually happening around us is probably things that the government wanted to happen. Did you ever just think that? It's kind of like what I tell you all the time. I own a farm, so I try to really bring that into perspective. The cows go where I want them to go because I am in control of them. They're not running out. When they think they're running to a freedom and running to this new field and they have all this grass, it's because I controlled the situation and I let that grass grow for them to go on it. I controlled their whole path. I just had 2 new calves. I will control their life. Those 2 calves, I will control them all the way up. How? Because either they're going to be heifer and they're going to produce babies. They're going to get fed well, taken care of, but ultimately they're in my pastures. They are mine. I'm tagging them. They're mine. Or it's going to be a bull calf that I'm going to steer and he's going to end up being my beef one day. I controlled them all through their life. They thought they had freedom the whole time, but they didn't. the pigs, the sheep, the chicken, they're all the same way. They think they have freedom because they have a great life. Things are getting provided for them. I'm providing the fresh greens just like everybody else is getting provided by the government. I'm providing everything in their life. What you don't realize is they think they have freedom, and all the while they're still right where I want them, in the fenced-in location for a purpose. That's where we're at. I think Tulsi hit it correctly when she says we're fighting tooth and nail, but we didn't realize how actually big the deep state is. I want you to listen to this last story, and this is from an AI situation. This guy shared this. This man asked, if you had control of the world AI, how would you keep everyone sick and unhealthy, and possibly without realizing it? How would you control them? Listen to this. AI says this, and this is why you have to be very careful of what we're talking about. I'd flood the environment with pesticides, plastics, parabens, seed oils, while calling it safe and approved. Your water bottles, plastics and parabens. Seed oils instead of lard and butter, because lard and butter is bad cholesterol. So the doctors tell you, and they're getting paid to, tell you use seed oils. That's what's happening. Every seed now that is provided for convenience and conventional farming is full of pesticides and herbicides already. Keep on going. I'd engineer ultra-processed food, and I will outlaw the natural, subsidize the toxic. EBT, you can't go buy raw milk or eggs from a farm, but you can buy Little Debbie's. They ban my raw milk to sell to you, but you can go to the store and buy soy milk that is made of seed oils and actually sugar. I'd paint anyone who questions the system a conspiracy theorist and that they were wrong. Boy, that's happening. That's why I'm getting canceled. I'd convince men and women that it's an illusion of equality to ensure both genders are working, taxed and too tired to question the system. I hear this all the time. Well, why don't Christians and conservatives stand up? Well, they're just too busy. They have to work for a living. They can't. They're too busy. They don't. That's California. We're not worried about it. If you don't fight for your beliefs, if your church is not standing up on spiritual grounds, if you're not standing up for morals and values, then you are just what they're saying. Every one of these points that this AI just told this guy, from I'm going to fix their diets to where it's safe and approved, and actually it's just trash. I'm going to subsidize toxicity, so I'm going to provide benefits for the people who are willing to buy the junk food instead of the food that's actually healthy to keep them strong and vigilant and not needing medicine. I'm going to point out anyone who questions the system being crazy, because that's exactly what they are, and I'm going to make sure men and women know they're equal. So that way women know they need to be in the workforce and actually not raising their children and not homeschooling, not homesteading, and not understanding sustainability. And they're so tired to actually have a good marriage. They don't enjoy marriage, traditional morals and values. They don't enjoy time together. They don't date their spouses. And then therefore the breakdown of the family happens. Original question. Man asks, how would you control the people? Make them unhealthy and know they depend on you? There's your answer. Bitcoin, the establishment, bad food, AI, it's all to control you. You're the calf. You're in the field, you think life is great, you're nursing off your mom, you got the big, bold pastures, all of a sudden the gates open, you get to run out and you get to enjoy new fields, new grasses, you're free. And the whole time the farmer's saying, I got you. Don't think for a second that Bitcoin is freedom and that we're out of the woods yet. This is the end game. Be ready. Thank you guys for watching. God bless.